Welcome back to Tactics Dojo. Today I have a special video for you all, a full breakdown of Argentina's pre-match warm-up from their 2026 World Cup round of 16 match against Egypt. I was lucky to capture almost the entire warm-up, so we're going to go through the full routine, how Messi and the starting players are prepared, and some of the really interesting details that stood out to me. Let's get right into it. So Argentina's warm-up was actually really interesting. Going into this, I expected their warm-up to be very technical, very detailed, and probably built around a lot of passing combinations and attacking patterns. You think about Argentina, Messi, and the quality they have on the ball, their precision, combination play, and ability to play through tight spaces is almost unmatched. But what I found was actually a little bit surprising. Their warm-up was much simpler than I expected, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was how relaxed and calm the entire routine felt. So Argentina came out around 11:15 in the morning, about 45 minutes before kickoff, and I can assure you this was definitely the first time they had come out onto the field because I had seen the team bus arrive at the stadium shortly before. They started with a dynamic stretching routine, which unfortunately I was not able to capture, but from there, the starting 11 goes straight into a passing pattern. The starting 11 were separated from the rest of the squad. While the starters worked through the passing pattern, the substitutes and the rest of the squad participated in a rondo on the far side of the field. After working through this passing pattern for a couple minutes, they go straight into a 5 versus 5 possession game. And this possession game was played in extremely tight space, estimated around 15 by 18 yards. So you have 10 players inside a very small area, which means there is almost no time with the ball. Players are consistently checking their shoulders, finding passing angles, and moving the ball with 1 or 2 touches. Now when you watch Argentina do this, they make it look very easy, but this is by no means an easy exercise. The space is very tight, the pressure arrives almost immediately, and any poor touch or slightly inaccurate pass is probably going to result in losing the ball. For the most part, the possession game was pretty unorganized positionally. The players were free to move wherever they wanted, find space, and support the player on the ball. There were no clear positions or system shape that I could see. It was really just 5 versus 5 possession, keeping the ball, playing quickly, and reacting to the movements around them. One thing that definitely stuck out from this point moving forward was just how relaxed Argentina were. If you watched my Manchester United warm-up video, the biggest thing with United was the pace and intensity of the warm-up. There was almost no standing around. The coaches moved the players quickly through every phase, and everything had a really serious and intense feeling to it. Argentina were completely different. They still completed the exercises properly, and there was obviously a lot of quality, but there was never a feeling of being rushed. The players were casually passing the ball around in between exercises, they were talking, smiling, and just enjoying being out on the field. And this was a World Cup knockout match. So you would expect there to be maybe some nerves or tension with the group, but from the outside, the players look completely calm and comfortable. And I think that's a really interesting part of the warm-up. You know, maybe for Argentina, the players have enough adrenaline because of the occasion, they understand it's a knockout match, they understand the pressure of everything that's at stake, so perhaps the warm-up is not designed to create more intensity or to get players overly excited. Maybe it's actually designed to keep them relaxed and make everything feel as normal as possible. After a few minutes of the 5 versus 5 possession game, the players split into positional groups. The defenders moved away to work with one of the assistant coaches. Unfortunately, I was not able to capture exactly what the defenders were doing, but the attacking players went straight into shooting and finishing exercises. And this was probably the most surprising part of the entire warm-up for me. The attacking players did not work through any passing patterns to the goal. There were no combinations, rotations, overlaps, cutbacks, or crossing sequences. The players simply got a ball and shot from set positions. In some of the repetitions, a goalkeeper or a coach would serve the ball into the player and they would shoot it first time, but for the most part, it was just the players getting as many strikes on the ball as possible. And when I watched this, I questioned whether they should maybe be doing something more organized or maybe related to how they were going to attack during the match, because you see a lot of teams finish their warm-up with a passing pattern to goal. Argentina did not really do any of that. It was just very simple shooting. But then you have to consider the level of these players. This is the highest level of football. It's a World Cup knockout match, and this is what the players and coaching staff feel like is best for the circumstances. Another really interesting part was Argentina's starting goalkeeper, Emiliano Martínez. Martinez did not face any of the shots from the attacking players. While the shooting exercise was happening, he was working behind the attackers and practicing his kicking. You could see him playing longer passes and working on different types of distribution. And this was really interesting to me because you would normally expect the starting goalkeeper to face the attacker's shots. It gives the goalkeeper some additional saves, handling work, and reactions, while also allowing the attacking players to finish against the goalkeeper who is actually going to start the match. But Martinez was not involved at all. Now, there could be a couple of different reasons for this. He may have already completed his full goalkeeper warm-up with the goalkeeper coach before this part of the routine. Goalkeepers usually go through their own separate warm-up with handling, footwork, diving, crosses, and reaction saves. So by the time the attacking players begin shooting, maybe he has already faced enough shots and does not need any more repetitions, or it may simply be Martinez's preference. Maybe the last thing he wants to feel before going back into the locker room is his distribution, and maybe that was especially important for the way Argentina expected Egypt to play. Without speaking to the coaching staff, it is difficult to know the exact reason, but it was definitely one of the most interesting details within this warm-up. So after the shooting exercise, the players quickly move over to the fitness coach for a final activation. They go through a couple of short sprints and explosive movements, nothing too long, nothing overly complicated. It was really just about raising the intensity one final time, getting the heart rate up, and making sure the players were ready to sprint as soon as the match started. After a couple repetitions, they're off the field, headed back to the locker room, and prepare for the match walkout. The warm-up ended around 11:35, so from the time they entered the field until the time they went back inside, the full warm-up lasted approximately 20 minutes. And one thing that has been consistent with all the top teams that I've watched in the warm-ups is that they really never last more than 20 to 25 minutes. The players come out, they move through a couple of exercises, and then they are straight back into the locker room. There are not many stoppages or long breaks. The coaches are not trying to teach the players anything new. They are just trying to get through the routine quickly and efficiently, and it makes perfect sense as you want the players working at a good intensity, you want their heart rate up, you want them feeling comfortable and sharp on the ball, but you do not want them working for a prolonged period of time where they might start to feel fatigued before kickoff. I also have another gem coming up next with France's full warm-up, so please make sure you subscribe so you do not miss it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. See you guys next time.